The fertile and beautiful land of Papua is inhabited by various tribes that have their own uniqueness and traditions. One of them is the unique Papuan traditional clothing. You can learn and gain insight into the elements of Papuan culture in this video. Here is a list of Papuan traditional clothing from several tribes. One of the most famous is the Koteka. Check out the list. 1. Koteka. This traditional Papuan clothing is very popular in Indonesia. Koteka itself is a traditional clothing whose function is to cover the male genitals, which are also called holim, harem, or bobby. Its shape is like a sheath made from old water-gored skin, then dried until hard and durable. Koteka itself means clothing. Men who wear koteka are generally almost naked. 2. Rumbai. Skirt. The next Papuan traditional clothing is the rumbai skirt. This clothing is a bottom to cover the lower body of Papuan women. The rumbai skirt is usually worn in pairs with a bahu karang. Groups that still use this rumbai skirt include Yapen, Sentani, Enjeros, Nafri, Biak Numfer, and Tobati. 3. Bahu karang. Next is the bahu karang. Papuan traditional clothing that is also used by women as a top. Bahu karang, made of velvet and influenced by cultures outside Papua. Bahu karang is worn by women in Manokwari and other areas of West Papua when there are traditional events. 4. Sali traditional clothing. The next traditional Papuan clothing is the sali clothing, which can only be worn by girls. Married women are not allowed to wear this sali clothing. Sali clothing is the identity of a single girl and is usually used for daily activities. Sali clothing is made from selected brown tree bark. Sali clothing can also be made from dried sago leaves. This traditional clothing is worn by wrapping it around the woman's body. The inside is arranged to be longer than the outside. 5. Grass cloth clothes. The next Papuan traditional clothing is called grass cloth clothes. This traditional clothing has actually received a modern touch and can be worn by men or women. The material used to make it is the base of sago shoots, which are then dried. Uniquely, the sago leaves used to make this grass cloth clothes must be taken when the seawater is high. After being taken, the sago leaves are then dried, soaked, and then woven using a 1-meter long wooden tool. The wood functions to hook the ends of the rope, which is also made of grass. In order to become a rope, the sago leaves are dried and then twisted together. 6. Yokel clothing. The next traditional Papuan clothing is yokel clothing, traditional clothing specifically for married women. This clothing functions as a cover for the upper body of women. However, this clothing may only be worn by married women. This yokel clothing is made from tree bark that is brightly colored, such as reddish brown or earth brown. To become yokel clothing, the selected tree bark is woven so that it can be wrapped around the body of the woman wearing it.